everyone, I'm Brad. Brad Ostron Mull on Facebook. Admin of a couple of groups, and as you can see, Jurassic collector, Jurassic fan of all things Jurassic Park, The Lost World, and some of what come after. Collecting for me is a hobby, and I just love getting new things. Sadly, I can't display everything that I collect due to space. I've got 6 of these large glass displays, and I can only fit 2 of them in my house at the moment, so as a collector's, space is probably one of my biggest issues, biggest concerns going forward with collecting. Collecting Jurassic Park figures really started with two toys back in the day. I was 10 years old when the movie came out, and the original movie, and I never got to see it in cinemas. Where we live in Australia, we're sort of away from the closest cinema a fair bit, so going to see a movie is more of a special thing than do every day of the week. So one of those figures was the Juvenile TRex, which I haven't been able to find at this stage to show, but you all know what it looked like. The other one is, of course, the capture copter, which, as you can see from this one, it's been heavily played with. It had some fantastic detail and stickers with the cockpit that opened up, and you can see you could actually fit one of your figures in there. Nice little indents for the Jurassic Park logos there as well, and it had the ability to launch the net from the bottom to capture any animals. But even back then, there was the capture copter, the T-Rex. I do remember having the stegosaur as well, the dino damaged stegosaur, which I'll show you in a minute. And that was about it. Alan Grant, 1 or 2 of the human characters, but that was it, because back then not everyone's made of money and we couldn't collect everything I wanted. Well, at the time, was to play with. As you can see from the capture copter, it didn't hold up to my playing, as didn't a lot of the stuff. In a moment I'll take you for a stroll through the collection and you'll see some of my more impressive specimens. But in the meantime, it would have been probably around 2005, 2006 where I started getting into collecting, trying to get some of those figures that I didn't have when I was young, some of the figures I did have, yet lost. Because as children play with figures, stuff gets broken. My Juvenile T-Rex, towards the end of my high school years, he wasn't looked after as well as I'd hoped, and our dog had actually chewed one of its legs off and one of its arms had popped out and disappeared. And of course, the dino damage pieces were probably one of the first things that disappeared, but that Juvenile T-Rex, I took it everywhere, school camps, excursions. It used to go over as my little Rexy, and it used to sit on my arm, and I'd take it everywhere. But now I've sort of looked out. It was one of the first ones I brought. I've got a mint in box version of it that is away in storage at the moment in the shed, because just haven't got room for any of it. And as you can see, the collection just grew and grew. A lot of this stuff, all carded figures, just sitting in boxes waiting to come out, be displayed. And you will realise, or will see, as we go through a lot of this, there's a lot of double ops, because when you're collecting, when you've got stuff away in storage like this, you lose track of what you actually have. The Dino Screams, the Dilophosaur, and the Velociraptor. I just love that design. More of a movie design for the raptors. And stuff very quickly began to stockpile everywhere. You can see I've got the Stegosaur there. Again, just love the latex, the feel of them. I really hope Fallen Kingdom and Mattel do some more stuff like this, but it's good too. I got all these without their dino damage parts missing. Stegosaur, a Triceratops as well, which are some of my favourite pieces. But it didn't just stop at toys as well. Also got the board games that come out. Milton Bradley produced. They'd done a board game for Jurassic Park, then later The Lost World, and they also done one for Jurassic Park 3, which is in the wardrobe as well. I'd say very loosely tied into the films. Interesting one with The Lost World, how it actually has key parts from the deleted third act, where it was to conclude in the worker village and not in San Diego. So you've got the 13 buildings of the worker village all spread out in the board game.
And believe it or not, The Lost World is my favourite of the Jurassic franchise. So once I got most of the Jurassic Park stuff that I never got, quickly got onto The Lost World and a lot of the figures from that. Again, there's a few double ups. These are sort of loose figures that I got that aren't in the best condition, but it's just having a representation of the figure and the card art that it come with. And again, like some of the Raptor figures here just blow the Hasbro Jurassic World stuff out of the water, my own personal opinion. But, it's just great having all this stuff. I do hope to have it all on display one day, but I love the prices too. $6, where something like that now you're probably looking at 25 to 30, or sometimes even more. But it was great stuff.
And one of the other great things I love, especially when we got to the Lost World toy line, is how they branched out into other stuff. They've done the board game, but they also went into the Matchbox stuff as well. And I've got pretty much the whole Matchbox stuff sort of all packed away, mint in box at the moment. And I just love how they sort of took the creative licenses, took the M-Class, took what designs we know and sort of just made their own thing out of it. Yes, there shouldn't be a parking structure at the worker village, but it's just great to have stuff like this. As you can see, a lot of stuff that sort of come with it as well. I've doubled up on some are still in their box, some are loose that can actually play with as well. You got all the vehicles there. Again, a lot of this stuff I'd love to see Matchbox redo for Fallen Kingdom and give us some Jurassic vehicles. There are a few of the Micromaster stuff that I haven't got yet, which I really want to get. Just that and the box art as well. Just having the those symbols there, that sort of logos and that I just drew on all my exercise books and everywhere in high school. So people ask me what is my favourite figure or item in my collection from the Jurassic franchise, and it'd have to be this. The Mobile Command Center plate. Yeah, the Mobile Command Center, which is the playset of the trailers from The Lost World. This was one of the first things from The Lost World that I got. Luckily before it skyrocketed in price, which is why the box is in pretty good condition. And everything's there. The batteries are, well, the battery compartment's not rusted, and the all the electronics and sounds work as they're supposed to, and lights. And it's just fantastic. Again, just the box, the art on the box. I'd love to get a second one just to customise in the actual colours of the actual RV from the film, but that's something that it's too expensive to get. Again, Mattel have done collector series before where they've gone back and re-released old figures, and I'd just love for them to do that again, because everyone should have figures like these. The old toys, they just beyond comprehension. You can't beat them these days with what Hasbro's been doing. So that's some of my boxed collection that sort of lives stored away. There is a lot more. stuff like the movie cups, a lot of loose figures, vehicles, the explorers that go with the Lost World line as well. I think I'm up to about 4 of those at the moment, so that's just one day I'll get the space, I can set all my displays up and open them up and see what I've actually got. Because when I brought the stuff, it never really got documented what I had, and now I've got to dig through it all and try and find it again. So before I finish up, I'll show you what I do actually have on display, which is some of my favourite stuff. But again, there's a lot jammed in there. You can see like stuff like that. It's a mint and sealed box, Ian Malcolm glider from the Lost World. I just love having stuff like that displayed in box. But you can also have a lot of loose stuff too. Now there is a fair bit of crossover here because of the lack of space, but just having loose figures around. I haven't really gone into the second series stuff yet because a lot of it was just repaints and there wasn't a lot of new stuff there, but I do hope to get some of that stuff later. And again, just having loose stuff on display. Sort of you can have stuff interacting with each other. And I do hope we get some new explorers out of the Jurassic line. But even stuff like the Jurassic TRex and some of the other small stuff as well. Even that sort of more kiddie stuff like the hand puppets. The Barbasol can, that was one thing I definitely wanted to get when I started collecting. And I suppose one good thing about Jurassic World, we did get some more of the Barbasol cans. The wristbands and some of the other props too, just like the park maps, and that is just stuff that I absolutely love. As we get down to the bottom shelf here now, stuff gets a little bit more messy, but again, just some of that original Jurassic Park stuff. Alan's afraid he's going to get crushed by the Jeep there from the Lost World. Even some of the stuff Horizon's done, just fantastic. Again, something else like those models is I'd just love to see produced for Fallen Kingdom or for the collector's line. But I did get some of the Jurassic World stuff. That's the Horizon Dilophosaur there. Custom paint, I just love the work this guy's done. Even if his shipping methods aren't the best. I've also been trying to get into some of the comics as well. And I think as a Jurassic collector, you've got to have a couple of fossils. So, nice little fish fossil there. Okay, for your fish are the easier ones to get. Little prehistoric yabby. But yeah. And because you have to have a brachiosaur with an explorer riding on its back. So yeah, that's been my collection and a bit about me and collecting. So I hope the video was helpful, and I can't wait to keep buying more figures as the years go on. And actually, of course, get them out and display. But until next time, I've been Brad. Thanks for watching.